Rage, freaking rage. Why would they say that? Why would they do that? Why is this even in existence? Do you ever watch content that just makes you go, dear Lord, why? What if I was to tell you that was the whole purpose of the content? Crazy talk, Cal. What do you mean? People are just out there making content that will purposely rile me up? Yes, and that's what this video essay is about. Hello there. If you're new to this channel, we do video essays talking about things on the internet and then all discussing it as a community in the comment section below. It's pretty fun, it's pretty cool, and I like it a lot. So, if that sounds like one big fun party for you, please feel free to subscribe. The majority of people that watch my channel aren't subscribed, and I'm clearly quite hyped up today. I've had 2 coffees. So let's change that subscribing thing. And if you're not new here, hello again, old friend. It's me, Cal. And boy, do I have exciting news that made me cry. I won't be showing you the tears today, as my mum once said I was a very ugly crier. But look, it's my design. It's the thing I've literally worked on for like dozens of hours. It's here. I have a hood. I have pockets somewhere. Oh my goodness. Josh surprised me in the post literally like yesterday, and he's like, look what I made for you. And he got my design printed on a hoodie. Yeah! I straight up cried on the phone to him. I was so happy. And let me tell you something else. Josh and his business partner have been like, yeah, Cal, we're going to use your design on our clothes and we're going to sell it. So you can also get this hoodie if you want it. Never did I think in my weird little life that a side quest I'd be doing is designing clothes, but here we are. We have finally brought my image of digression to life, and oh boy, does it feel so good. There'll be a link down below if you want to learn more about the hoodie. It's not out yet, but there'll be like a page where you can learn about it. But there's some things I should tell you about the brand, so you don't think it's just some like crappy product. I would never do that. It's all made in the UK, so that helps reduce its carbon footprint. It's not being shipped from one factory some point in the world to another factory. It's all home roots, baby. And it's all made with recycled cotton. We love that. Boom! And it's also going to be shipped in recyclable packaging if anybody wants to buy it, which they do not have to. And on top of that, a portion of all the profits Josh said that comes from this will be going to offset carbon emissions, from delivering these hoodies to our customers. Which I was like, yes, Josh, that's great. I love wholesome ethical business practices. So, if you want digression on your tummy area region, you potentially can. And like the hoodie is outrageously thick and comfy. Not like, like one of those hoodies you buy in like your local high street brand. This is like thick, heavyweight cotton. It feels like I'm wearing a weighted vest or a sensory blanket, which I love. Maybe one day I'll make a sensory blanket, but we do digress. I'm very happy it's here. I love it. It's beautiful. The quality's amazing. It's not like one that's gonna crack in the bathtub or shower or washing machine area. I'm just overjoyed that something I've been thinking about for weeks and like drawing out is here. And if you want to get amongst it too, if you can relate to digression, there'll be a link here and a landing page, and you can sign up to learn when the product goes live. Boy, I'm feeling happy today because of this, so let's crack on with the video, shall we? And today we're going to be talking about rage bait and the importance of media literacy. In today's hyper-connected world, we are constantly bombarded with like a constant stream of information going into our brains from many different sources. Headlines, videos, outrageous clips, all vying and buying and trying to get our attention. All of the ings. Buying, trying, buying. Yeah. But amidst this absolute barrage, this ceaseless attack of information overload, that's the era of that. There's this new phenomenon. It's not really that new, but there's this phenomenon, and there's this word going around to summarize this type of content, and it's rage bait. News publication sites are using rage bait. Content creators are using rage bait. Random faceless accounts are using rage bait. They're all trying to rage bait us. And why? Well, to generate views, clicks, and engagement, because that secures the bag. Unethical banter. It's a capitalistic society, and we're just cogs in the machine. But if you are wondering what rage bait is, as I now realize I haven't actually given you a definition, let me hit you up with one quickly. Rage bait refers to content that's intentionally designed and made so that it provokes a strong emotional reaction within somebody. It got me feeling some type of way on God for Real No Cap. From sensationalized news article headlines to like those annoying IRL street interviews where they just ask dumb, heinous questions and clip it up to make it just seem absurd. Rage bait thrives and lives through exciting people's emotions. That's how it makes its money. It angers you, it riles you up so you comment like, that's what it wants. You're playing into its hand, gosh darn it. And at this point, you're probably thinking, hey, Cal, well, what are even the implications of consuming this rage bait? What's the downsides? Or how can I avoid it, Cal? How can I escape this trap? Let me out. Your terminally online friend that overthinks everything is going to tell you about rage bait, media literacy, and how you can avoid it. You know, I've been thinking so much about it, and I've been examining rage bait and its prevalence in modern day media. I've been thinking about its psychological, social, and like ethical dilemmas it creates. Once again, very terminally online, probably not that deep, but I'm making it that deep. And also, like, you know, how it can spread misinformation. Today we are uncovering, this is like an early 2000s documentary, today we're gonna really uncover the dark side, the dangers of this rage bait. But before we can get onto my overthinking terminally online takes of rage bait, let me just show you some rage bait so we're all on an equal playing field and we're all vaguely riled up. Because if I'm going down, you're all coming with me. And then we can all discuss it harmoniously in the comment section. But yeah, here's some of the worst rage bait I've been seeing recently. Unit number 1, we've got those dumb podcasts that are literally made for the sole purpose to get outrageous clips and then put it on the internet and then watch it go viral. This podcast is infamous where this absolute demon of a man gets women on and he just waits for them to say things that can be like taken out of context or whatever, or just things that aren't vaguely well thought out, and then he's like, boom, clip that up, secure the bag. Everyone laughs and jokes at the woman, and it also causes outrage and conflicts and conversations, but never positive ones that promote change, just ones being like, because everybody's too angry, everybody's no longer thinking with criticalness, everybody's just off like a switch, and I don't know what that means. It looks kind of sus, but like, you know, this stuff really rages you out so that you don't think clearly. No one thinks with like a developed brain. Like, for example, this clip.
I really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart.
Like, holy smokes, that's an incredibly toxic thing to hear and say. And like, dear Lord. And like, the internet runs with these clips and you'll get guys being like, this is why I hate women. And it's like, Jesus, Chad, maybe you don't have to hate every woman ever just because of this one person. Then it's like, And then on the other side, it's like, you got trolls reacting to it and everyone hyping it up and talking about it. But this is what this content creator wants. This is what this demon wants. He's farming you like livestock for your reaction. And like, this is a conscious thing they're doing. Like, this content creator even said on a podcast, he on purposely makes IRL street videos in a way that he can take them out of context, have outrageous, you know, answers and moments, because he knows that's how you get viralness on the internet. You provoke this strong emotion in people of like, oh, and then he knows they'll react. He gets them every time in his, what is that plant that eats people? Not people. Well, it does in Mario. You fuck me up on Mario Kart every time. What's he called? Venus Flytrap. You're a Venus Flytrap, and we're just flying into your trap, and I don't like that. And speaking of these like IRL street interview rage baiters, this chap's been called out numerous times for clipping up people's answers and not showing the actual answer, or they'll be answering a different question but he doesn't show that, he shows them answering another question, all through the power of editing. And it's just so immoral and heinous. You're like potentially damaging somebody's reputation by doing it. Like this goth girl, he coerced her into saying this answer where she was like, I only date black men. And then obviously the internet gets upset because it looks like she's glorifying a race or whatever, or she's sexualizing a race. And then she came out and said, no, I have social anxiety and I was goaded into saying something provocative. All of this is such a shame because yes, sometimes, you know, rage bait can be so silly, so like nonsensical. It's just like, oh, whatever, dog. That's crazy. But like, when you're actually messing with innocent humans in the world, that's so unethical, that's so heinous, and you deserve prison time. Maybe that's too terminally online. Maybe they don't deserve... No, you deserve prison time. Screw it. If you want to mess with people's, you know, reputation, just innocent people trying to go about their life, I don't like that. Punch up, never down, you freaking shit Bamzooki. If you don't know what Bamzooki is, Bamzooki was a show when I was a kid where, you know, young people would go on and design these little like insect bugs, and then they would have to do assault courses. It was really cool. I don't know why I'm telling you about Bamzookis. Maybe a Bamzooki lore video will come next. But also, I should state, you know, rage bait doesn't always have to be really obvious or like, you know, really, you know, not that layered, not that deep. There's this creator who I once did a video on, and people come for her in the thousands being like, you're a terrible mother, you don't know how to feed your kids, you know, because she would do things like use loads of olive oil, or she would feed her children donuts for breakfast. Probably things we're all guilty of doing at points in our life, but she chooses to upload it on the internet. You know, sometimes we don't always have the most optimum breakfasts, whatever that means. Anyway, because of the way this woman looks and acts, you know, she gets a lot of hate, which just shows all the prejudices a lot of people have towards people that don't conform to, you know, societal standards. But this woman even said in another video, if she shows doing like more realistic breakfasts or whatever, you know, showing fruit and stuff, she doesn't get nearly as many views and interactions. And obviously because she's trying to play the game, she's trying to secure the bag or whatever, she's of course gonna show the breakfasts that are outrageous, the ones that do, you know, make you feel some type of way, that make you think, I don't think little Timmy should be eating that. What are you, a pediatrician? Everything's about balance. Stop giving your input on other people's diets. It's unwanted and unsolicited. Just hush. If you see something you don't agree with on the internet, just keep on going. Wait, but I shouldn't get into that too yet because I'm still showing you evidence of rage bait. But can you see how like G'd up I am? And if you're new to this channel, I'm not normally this boisterous and G'd up. Like I've had a couple glasses of the old sweet drinking syrup or whatever. I have had a cute few coffees this morning though. Guilty. Rage bait just riles me up, and I don't like it when people try and goad the masses or try and anger people and spread misinformation, because I'm a very literal person. I take things incredibly literally, and it's only through being this absolute bedroom dwelling creature that I've kind of learnt to really understand rage bait and understand the nuance of it, despite my literalness as a human being. So that's why we're here to info dump on it today. I'm coming late to the game of understanding nuance and critical thinking as a very literal human, and I'm proud of my achievement. And I'm gonna show it today. I finally understand not everything has to be literal. Anime. This is a disaster. Let's move on. And you know, another type of rage bait that I've seen really irk people is like this Italian husband. And you're probably just thinking, Cal, that's more like sketch-based comedy. Yes, but also the chap's clearly playing a stereotype of an Italian character, which also really riles people up. Because I see them getting lots of hate being like, this is just not how a husband would be, or whatever. Or people being like, this is just not realistic, or whatever. You know, I don't even know what accent that was. I think it was just my own voice with more gravelly. It is my voice. Wow, is that what my voice sounds like? But okay, cool. He'll act over the top to everything and be like, oh my goodness, you can't split pasta in two. Look like this. What? You see? Stereotypes, rage bait. You see what I mean now? You see what all of this is? It can take many forms. It can even take really silly gaming clips like this.
Someone's got a mom.
It's not a mom, it's a wife.
Someone's mom is yelling at him, chat.
That's my wife.
Like, how do you not see that's rage bait? How do you see that's not someone clearly playing a character? I don't know. Maybe people are just, too focused on the game. They're too locked in. They're trying to get that dub. But yeah, it is crazy. This is the world of rage bait, and dear Lord, has it shown me the importance of media literacy and why I've had to get media literacy, because it's so confusing, overwhelming, overstimulating, and if you fall subject to it, it can really ruin your day and just drain you out. So I'm here to stop it today with my morality sword. And like the first point I want to talk about is how it spreads misinformation like absolute wildfire. Because, you know, rage bait at its core is designed to make you feel strong emotions, usually of anger, usually of distaste, you know? That's what it is at its core. A lot of the time, that can also go hand in hand with misinformation, and these like sensationalist or emotionally charged like headlines, it doesn't even have to be like TikToks, can quickly lead, you know, people to share these news stories or just share that like quick headline they read without actually thinking critically about the whole thing, which, you know, can really create false narratives and rumors. And I'm definitely guilty of this myself. I'll see like a headline on Facebook because I'm scrolling to see if like my nan's messaged me this week or whatever, or my grandma for people that don't use the word nan. And I'll just see a headline and be like, yeah, okay, cool, that's the truth. And then I'll sometimes even find myself bringing up that headline in general conversation, normally because I'm panicking and I'm always thinking of the next thing to say to someone. I'm like, did you see that news story? So I'm part of the problem too, and it catches me out, and I'm just realizing that lifetime now. But like a lot of these media outlets will on purposely put these really crazy headlines to, you know, suck you in and be like, oh my god, is that the truth? But obviously when you're busy as well, you don't even read it, so you just take that as like gospel, and it's like, wow, that could have a really scary effect on the world. And another obvious example of that in like the TikTok world is those like AI videos. And now I personally never believe it when I see a political figure on TikTok. I'm like, why are you there? But like, I was actually having a conversation with someone and they didn't realize that like some of the like Obama speeches and like Donald Trump speeches they had seen on TikTok were fake. They thought these were real. And you know, that's where it gets quite scary, because if you don't realize this is real, you then see like a world leader saying something that could be quite heinous or could really damage international relations potentially if enough people do believe it. Now, luckily, I think the one they saw was Obama, you know, saying skibbity toilet riz. I don't know how they thought that was real, but I'm not to judge, you know. Like I said, I'm a very literal person too, and it's only through being online terminally, you know, it's a full-time job, baby, have I realized what's real and what's fake. I'm trying to think of like a harmless version of misinformation, so this whole video isn't like doom and gloom and how like rage bait is going to destroy the world. I don't want to paint that picture out, but like a harmless rage bait thing that I didn't discover till a very old age was like, I thought haggis in Scotland was like this actual real creature that kids would hunt on their 16th birthday and then bring it home to their family. Why? Because one time I saw a TikTok on it or something and I just believed that as truth, and I thought, oh, okay, you know, because it's, I don't know, something, I don't have loads of knowledge on Scotland. I just accepted that as truth. And then when I brought that up to my Scottish friend, he like laughed in my face for like hours because he couldn't believe that I actually believed it, that there's this little creature that Scottish kids as tradition hunted on their 16th birthday. Now saying that out loud, I feel, you know, like silly, humiliated, whatever. Not really humiliated, I understand it's not that deep in totality, but it's very silly. I'm glad I said it just to him and not to like the world, because everyone would be like, whoa, what a silly billy cow. Yeah, I can't help it. I'm a very literal guy. And if you tell me something, I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool, that's the truth. But like, it just shows like the importance of this. Like, you really can be led astray and sent down all these different paths, and that's pretty wickedy whack and not all that. Which kind of like brings me on to my second point, which is like emotional manipulation. And I think the reason why rage bait works so well is because it gets you into like this frenzied state, you know, where you're so clouded by the strong emotion you feel that like criticalness and, you know, assessing a situation and questioning goes out the window. You know, as you get older, you know it's very good to like question things. Why do we do it that way? Why do we do it this way? You know, it's good to critically think. But like when you're so angry, because anger is such an amazing, strong emotion, it's such a real one. It has visceral tendencies. That are like the hey-ah hands. Hey-ah! Awful. But like, it's this real emotion, and when you feel anger, you really act out of character, and sometimes when you're that angry, you can do all sorts of heinous, crazy things, because you're just like, rage. But like, in the sense of rage bait, when you're just like happily like scrolling through your phone and you see something and it messes with your mental pathways, you don't come to a logical conclusion. You just end up commenting being like, this is stupid, or you explain your reason to like a troll. Say if it's like an IRL video and someone said something really misogynistic, sexist, or just downright dirty, and you're trying to explain to them why this isn't good, and you're trying to educate them. You're trying to do a good thing, which is awesome, and I love that for you, but it's a waste of energy, because the troll at the end of the phone will be like, Kyle, Chad, we totally punked another person. Screw you, Kyle and Chad. That's me choke slamming you both. Not that I'd ever violently hurt anyone. I don't really like confrontation, violence, or eye contact, and I feel you need a lot of eye contact when you're trying to be like, rah, with people. But yeah, enraging people, inciting these strong visceral emotions really does make individuals far more susceptible to manipulation, and then you can take advantage of them with your rage bait machine, secure the bag, and spread misinformation. So the trolls are winning. They are trolls, aren't they? They're like trolls. Trolling is just so unethical, really. Even when you think you're being harmless, you're still G'ing people up that may not understand the totality of the fact that you are pranking them or whatever, and it's just not cool. Cal says, stop trolling 2024. Leave us alone! Nah, for real though, I don't like it. I think it's whack. Why can't everyone just have like really self-deprecating humor? I like that. I like when people can just make fun of themselves. It's good. I think when you're making fun of other people, bringing other people down, I think it speaks volumes of you. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent now. I didn't really know what that's got to do with rage bait. But that kind of does bring me on to my next point of like polarization and divisiveness. The creation of rage bait is really exacerbating to like the social and political polarization by like reinforcing like tribalism and like ideological divisions. It's all so messy and I don't like it, because like if you know you can say this really dumb thing, say if it's something to do with like misogyny or something to do with like feminism or something, you can say like this really blanket statement that's really gonna rile people up. You're gonna say something, you know, stupid and archaic. You know, it's going to have people that are like modern and liberated and can critically think, being like, no, that's dumb, let's shut it down, let's explain why. You people are great, you've got such great hearts, and I love that you're really trying. But there's honestly no point in trying with these frubes. The best thing you can ever do is ignore them, but we'll get on that a bit later. Cringe, Cal, stop it. Like, say they say these things, and then on the other side, you get the people that are like, yeah, I agree with that because I'm a smooth-brained gammon head. I'm 5 generations deep of misogyny. I'm gonna live and breathe this. And then they clash, and then they come together, and then you're creating divisiveness and a sad environment in the world. You're giving people a sad experience online, and the reason why a lot of people go online is escapism, right? The trials and tribulations of being an adult, as I say in like every video, maybe I'm just not well adjusted, but the trials and tribulations of being an adult are so tough. They beat you down day to day, going to work, just being a cog in the machine. You don't really have freedom of expression there, perhaps, for most people in their job. And like that will beat you down. So people go online to feel happy and feel good. And then when you're just greeted with this shit, it just riles you up more and it creates more division within communities instead of having actual productive conversations. People coming together and explaining different points of view, which is why I love my community. So shout out all of you lot supporting me. I love that we don't always have to see eye to eye in the comment section, but we can all understand that it's a place of critical thought. We analyze things and we talk, and we don't have to agree or agree on everything, but it's this open plane to talk as long as we're all respectful and mindful. But in this landscape of rage bait, it forgoes that, and it's just people attacking each other and being mean and not nice, and that's pretty anti-humanity at its core. And I think that's what my big gripe about it is. It's so unharmonious, it's so nasty, it's so mean, it's so like just like devoid of any thought. It's like that one friend that's like, yeah, I got dark humor, and then they just say like the most obvious dumb thing that's like, yeah, I'm just dark humor, I'm just different. No, your humor's shit, you're so lack of depth, and your brain is smooth, no ridges. That's me using it as a basketball. Get that boy's brain over to Wilson because damn, it's bouncy. And I know just saying it's mean doesn't really do it any justice and doesn't really paint a picture for you. But do you not think, like, when you think about it and you're like, this is just so devoid of humanity, how does someone's life become this, where they want to make this content, where they want to be so divisive, where they want to rip people up and make people fight each other? Because that's not good for humanity. We want a united world. Even if we all have different opinions and stuff, we still want to live within a world where like people with different ideas, people that are doing different quest lines, different campaigns, can all still live within the same open world together. You know, we're all playing on the same island despite our different story mode options or whatever. So you want to all have a good time, right? And I know why they're doing it. It's because rage bait is so monetized. You get paid clicks, you know, on news articles. People click on the news articles and they get paid because of the advertisements on the side. And then like TikToks get paid per view and engagement. So it's just to make money. And it's so sad that people will put money over other people's happiness or creating division in society. Why would you want to create such division, right? Educate and enhance, not freaking bring people down and polarize. That's just really telling of what type of human you are. Or perhaps you don't even think in totality what you're doing is bad. You think it's a funny joke with your friends. You've got to remember, when you create such strong emotions in people, logic is going out the window. And that's why you get that like tribeism, different factions, people with different belief structures just come together and they smash. I don't mean that in a weird, heinous, flirty way or whatever. I mean like they just disagree. It's like putting a key in a door that's not meant for that door, and it busts the key, it busts the lock. It's just all not productive for society, and that's a really big problem with rage bait. It's all at the detriment of humanity, and I'm pro-humanity. I'm pro us all living a lovely, happy life, and I know it will never be like true peace in nature because sometimes views and beliefs are so different from each other that it does create friction, but at least we can try and create a world where for like 99% of people it's good. And I know the extremists on either side will never see eye to eye with that, but it's impossible to create world peace, sadly. But yeah, that kind of does bring me on to my next point, which is like the impact on mental health. Because, you know, I was saying like this is so devoid of humanity, and this is one I can like firsthand relate to and like give my honest thoughts on. Like I said, he's saying it again, but I really am a very literal person. If you tell me to do one thing, I would just do that. And like before I like really learned to understand like the nuance of these rage bait videos and understand like, you know, it's a joke or maybe not even a joke, but they're trying to raise a reaction out of you. I used to give all these videos my attention, and I would try and have conversations with people in the comment section, and I would get into these discourse online with people. I would come away feeling even more hollow than I already was because I was so stressed out by living a normal life or trying to cosplay a normal human being and being a functional member of society. Then I'll go online and try and battle with these people. And it really did just make me so void and empty and just low, and everything just felt like, because I was engaging with this content. So it kept showing me more and more and more. And it just really fried my brain out. And you know, firsthand I can say how like exposing myself to so much inflammatory and distressing content just led to me being so stressed. I was so anxious all the time and I felt helpless. I thought I was doing the right thing by trying to educate people, but I realized they're not trying to be educated. They're just trying to create divisiveness. They're trying to pose people of opposite sides of the political spectrum against each other. They don't actually want informed conversation or actual interesting debates and stuff. They just want to see you argue and stuff because it gets them the monies. And I'm a lucky one. I managed to have a good support network or whatever, or I had an epiphany moment. I can't remember what exactly happened, but I just stopped one day and I just started clicking not interested. But for some people, they might not get that like that, and it could lead them really twisted about it and feeling some type of way. And I don't want to be like, and then they will decide to log out IRL. I'm trying to say it in a way that won't get me like told off by YouTube, but you know what I mean by that. You can infer someone chooses to log out IRL, and I'm not trying to trivialize it. I think that's very sad. But if someone's very emotionally vulnerable and then you're just beating them down with this, it will distort their view of the world even more, and they may just think, hey, I don't want to be a part of the world anymore. And yes, that is probably a very terminally online take, and I'm probably overthinking it, I'm probably overdeeping it, but I really do like to consider everything when you're doing this type of content. And if you are going to do content on the internet and you are going to upload, you have to accept responsibility no matter of your age. And I'm not saying content creators don't make mistakes. It's very normal in life to make mistakes. I know there's like this agenda that like content creators have to be perfect, but they really don't. Anyone with the ability to critically think will understand that like you do all make mistakes in life. It's just like a natural thing. And that's why I always promote in the comment sections, let's all talk. I don't always have to be right. I don't always have to be wrong, I just want to talk. I want to talk about these things. But rage bait creators don't have any of that like moral compass. They're just like divisiveness, polarize people, anger, rage, because they know it just gets you clicks. It's such a fail-safe way to get lots of views on the internet. But that doesn't make it right or moral, ethically sound. Just because you're securing the bag, it does not outskew the moral detriment that you're creating to society. And I'm not saying that these people deserve like billion years in prison, but I think there should be laws in place of, if you're gonna make content that incites rage and stuff, I don't think it should be monetizable. There's a difference between inciting conversation and discussing and sharing of thoughts and really just trying to upset the masses or mislead them or spread misinformation, you know what I mean? And I suppose that really does like bring me on to my next point of like algorithmic amplification, right? And how rage bait can create like echo chambers of like your preconceived values, notions, and opinions. In this digital world, we're very much engagement driven. I don't know what that hand gesture was about, but we're very engagement driven. The algorithm gives you things that will get people engaging, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't have a conscience, so it doesn't think of things as good or bad. It just thinks of what will get most people reacting, right? Things that elicit these strong emotional reactions will get people engaging, and because of it, it further solidifies views. The people that fight against this stuff will keep getting shown the stuff that makes them angry and stuff. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you get the people that actually agree with the heinous rage bait when they hear the misogynistic things, being like, yeah, that's my boy Chad, I agree with him. And they all view this content and they come together and just butt heads, and it's so sad and it's just so unproductive for society. But both sides of the spectrum will be like, no, we're just fighting for what we believe in. But it's just these echo chambers that are created to divide people, because it's not like the AI is like this evil thing, like Evil Old Man Incorporated. It just gives you the content that it knows you're going to engage with. But then deeper than that, the human that's creating the actual content knows it's going to divide both sides of the spectrum and get them to fucking clash and bash each other. Again, not in a weird, heinous way. I just mean fighty with words digitally. And it's no good for anyone. So maybe it's like a conversation to be had of like these media companies, I don't know, shadow banning rage bait content creators once they identify them. I know, you may get lots of engagement from it, but you're not fostering a good environment long-term for humanity. You're fostering one that's divided, and we want an inclusive society. Inclusivity over exclusivity every time. We want a world that's good and positive, gosh darn it. And I'm not trying to say groundbreaking things. These are just very obvious things. We should want to live in a harmonious world, not one that's just full of rage and upset and outrage. And that really does bring me on to my point of like ethical consideration for, content creators and like media outlets. Surely there needs to be bigger conversations to had on like a government scale of like ethical responsibilities. If you're a media outlet and you're posting these heinous misinformation headlines, surely that's not okay, because you've got many eyes on you. You're seen as an actual entity of news and spreading information, and you're spreading misinformation and rage bait. And we've seen it time and time again. I'm not going to put the stories on screen because it's very sad, but like news entities, news publishers promoting misinformation about celebrities, and those celebrities have decided to take their own life life. That's the phrase I should have used earlier. I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. But yeah, people taking their own life. It's so sad. It's so sad, because we do live in this world where people will just read the headline and run with that as gospel. And I said at the beginning, didn't I? I've been in that sense of like, I just see a headline and I accept that as truth and I move on. And it's only through like self-criticalness and analysis that I realize I shouldn't be doing that, because I'm probably also spreading misinformation. And that's sad. But like, going back to the point, these media outlets and these content creators should be having these conversations with themselves, or if they're not going to do it themselves, government bodies should come in and be like, yo, you need to be ethical with this shit, because what you're doing is fucking up the whole game for everybody. You're creating divisiveness, you're creating a polarized world, and it's not for humans, it's against humans. I suppose when you think of it like that, ethics goes out the window anyway, because we live in this capitalistic state where the priority is profit over thoughts and feelings. And now I sound like, when those like right wings guys are like, I don't care about your thoughts and feelings. No, but thoughts and feelings are real, valid things. And obviously within that, it's a complex nature of nuance and understanding. And so you don't want to just hand it to every emotion people feel, because sometimes people will feel a certain emotion as a displacement for other things, and they're not thinking logically and they're asking for things that just aren't realistic. But within the realms of normal scope, you shouldn't put money over thoughts and feelings and people's well-being. It's just unethical and genuinely horrific that this is what society is, and it's probably gonna get worse. It's a scary truth. It's probably gonna get worse. With the development of AI and these convincing videos that some people are already even believing, I think it's gonna get tougher and tougher and tougher to tell rage bait from real critical evidence. And on top of that, I think we're living in a world where people are just saying things online now, and because we're so used to just accepting things as they are, that they don't question it and they just accept things that is truth, which is its own dilemma, and that could be its own video essay. But I want to go back to the point of like ethicalness of these rage bait content creators, and like the harm you're causing to people's lives and the distress you're causing them just for engagement and clicks. It's genuinely disgusting. I know you're probably thinking, old cow's being too online again. Yes, I am being too online, but I think it's important to consider these things. You don't have to agree with me completely, but they're just things you can think about in your day-to-day life, and that's good because it makes you question things. You should question the implications of everything, not like to deeply analyze everything you do. Like, say for example, you don't need to analyze whether taking the last almond milk at the shop is unethical because then it forgoes someone else having it. Live, be a normal human, experience things. But when you are putting stuff out there, it's good to think about the whole implications for how it's going to affect everyone, right? And that shouldn't stop you from doing things. But if you're doing something that's really going to cause other people distress for no other reason than monetary gain, I don't like that. I think it's not cool, not swag, and not ethical. And you can't be a champ and sit on the winner's table if you're doing stuff like that. You may win, you may be up financially, but at what cost and to what detriment of society? Not swag, not cool, I don't like. Which brings me on to my next point and my final point, which is empowerment through media literacy. How can we stop rage bait? It's me, super media literacy man, the very literal man that took everything literally and actually got misled by loads of rage bait to the point that it created this superhuman that now questions everything. Anyways, I think because of this, we need like this counteractive movement that like fosters the importance of the development of skills such as source verification, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence, in the sense of becoming more informed so that you can tell right from wrong, and in this case, rage bait. I don't know why I keep doing this at the moment. I think in my head when I do this, it feels like I'm like analyzing something deeper to show I'm going deeper with that, which probably is weird and off-putting for you. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, I'll try and do it less in my next video. But yeah, like you want to foster this world that does make people question, which I know is very tough when you're young and you've only been on the planet, say like 14 years, and all of this stuff just feels so real, and it's just like you're taking in so much information because your brain's a sponge. It's this incredible superpowered computer, and it's really tough at that age. Maybe as you get older, it's good to like slowly teach yourself things like critical thought and critical analysis, and ask yourself, why would someone post something like that? Are they posting it to be divisive? And if you can see from the comment section, there's lots of people clashing and showing different views. It probably is rage bait, and it probably was put out there to make people butt heads. So with that, let's enter into my conclusion. How will I beat rage bait, or what is my answer to rage bait? Well, this is what I'll tell you, my friend. The power of scrolling is unmatched. It foregoes everything. It's the best thing you can do. And I know that's so tough when something makes you feel some type of way. It makes you have this visceral response. It makes you go, yeah, like you're turning to a Super Saiyan. But sometimes we've got to be the bigger person and not engage with these freaking trolls, these bedroom dwelling trolls, not to be mistaken for bedroom dwelling introverts like me that are just trying to exist peacefully without like frying their brains out. I mean these evil anti-humanity goblins that live under bridges in Skyrim that just care about stealing your gold instead of having a meaningful conversation or spreading something good into the world. Yeah, you're not cool, you're not nice, and I don't like you all that much. I don't like you at all, actually. Stop this. Stop spreading misinformation. Stop changing people's answers in the real life interviews for your monetary gain. It's horrible. You can really ruin people's lives. And what if something sad and heinous happened to that person because it ruined their reputation? Then you've got a life on your hands, my friend. And that's not fun or nice or cool. It's like when you see traffic lights. Red, say you first see the clip, you stop, and then it goes to amber, you assess. If it's making you feel angry, if it's making you feel some type of way, it's making you feel the strong emotion, you think, they're probably doing this on purpose. And then when you see the green light, you go, you just scroll to the next video. You scroll to the nice wholesome one of like an old person, I don't know, picking flowers or something sweet. You know, just something nice that makes you feel good. I don't know, mulch maxing. Anything other than rage bait. It's just not good for your brain. You could argue mulch maxing is not good for your brain, but I do like the way it makes my brain feel. I like brain rot. But analyze. Stop, think, go. The fail safe, regardless of whether you think it's rage bait or not rage bait, even if you think it's genuine, is just scroll on or just report it. If you're genuinely worried it's going to affect people's mental health and stuff and you have a genuine reason to do it, just report it, you know, and let the bigger companies take care of it. I know they don't always do it, but like at that point you've done everything you can. To exhaust any other energy on it probably won't be good because you'll probably be served more videos like that again, and you don't want to end up like how I did a while back where you feel helpless and anxious and then just in this state of sadness because you think humanity's collapsed when it hasn't. Humanity's normal, and if you go outside, everybody's a normal functional person. It's just on the internet it can make you feel, yeah, because everything on the internet is so like echo chamber based. So yeah, stop, think and go. That's what I've got to say about that. Let's talk about this in the comment section below. I'm genuinely so excited to talk about this with you. Did you guys have the same, you know, first-hand experience I had where like it really just beat you down to begin with because you didn't understand it and you thought everyone was being literal, or were you just smart from the get-go and you're like, yeah, this is rage bait, I'm gonna ignore it? If so, I'm so jealous of you. Teach me your ways. Let's talk. I'm always excited, as always, to share opinions with you. And remember, you can click the link down below if you want to learn more about my hoodie that I made with my design. It's really cool. I'm really proud of it. I've been your boy Cowder's Life, and there'll be another video essay here, and I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, bye.